Good afternoon and welcome to this Thursday thought. A little late today, but nevertheless it's on Thursday. Today may well be a potpourri of thoughts and things that are rattling around in my head. I don't do this often on this venue, but sometimes it just seems like I need to get some of this stuff out of my head and out on the table. So here goes. Over the past 3 years or so, we've had 3 different trash services, or was it 4 services? At our house, this company bought out that company, which in turn was absorbed into a larger company, and so on. You kind of get the idea. I had paid for a year in advance last October with the company which was absorbed by the larger one that's now serving us. That year in advance ends on November 1st. So far, the larger company has honored that advance payment. However, I'm not interested in establishing or continuing a relationship with software or an 800 number, and it seems like that's the only way you can contact this company. Phone calls to the company involve wait times of over an hour. Prices have increased. The ability to speak to a live person, either in person or on the phone, has diminished considerably. Furthermore, I do not wish to continue a relationship that was established without my knowledge or consent. But I have a question. Do I need to contact them to tell them I no longer want their service? Will they automatically discontinue service on November 1st? Will they continue service automatically and then bill me for it? Who knows? I certainly don't. Now, I do know that the new trash service that I've selected will pick up where I desire the other one to leave off, November the 1st. I can speak to a live person at that service after maybe just the second ring or so of their phone. She knows who I am. She has the information I need. I know we will have trash service after November the 1st. And as for the conglomerate, well, I'm an old guy, and I just like to do business in a little more personal manner than what's being offered. By the way, English Rentals and Trash Service out of Newton, Kansas is our new waste removal company beginning November 1st. Stay tuned. This might prove interesting yet. Well, it was only a year earlier or so this year that I became what did I butcher that? It was only earlier this year, there we go, that I became aware of a place in Hazleton, Kansas. Look that one up on your Rand McNally Atlas. The Freedom Gates Boys Ranch. Freedom Gates is a fully privately funded working ranch for troubled boys ages 11 to 18. They receive no finances from any government agency, nor do they charge families a set fee. They are totally reliant on donations. They serve boys and their families, and they do it well and without fanfare. The program is faith-based. School is private on the premises. They're licensed by the state regarding housing standards, safety, fire standards, that kind of thing. But they're free to develop their own program, their own curriculum, and their own way of doing things. Boys actively work the ranch. They have cattle, horses, gardens, field crops, and all the rest that goes with ranches and ranching. The boys actively work those areas as their age allows. They learn skills such as welding, construction, fence building, working livestock, electrician, plumber, and other trades work. They learn to work with and support each other. They develop not only work skills, but life skills that will remain with them long after they depart the ranch. In addition, they receive appropriate therapy along with their families with the goal of eventual reintegration. And if that's not a possibility, that young man may stay at the ranch until he reaches adulthood and may even stay on the ranch longer than that, helping the younger boys, mentoring and teaching. It's quite the place for such a small community as Hazleton, Kansas. Check it out. Well, the next days and weeks may well be interesting, I guess, insofar as how the various state and local governments navigate the uncertainty of the federal government shutdown. Of course, we're hearing the extremes of both sides of this debacle. One side is saying that people will go hungry and without health care, and the other side is saying that we can't afford to continue down the debt spiral and even now may be beyond a point of no return. But on a local level, on a neighbor-to-neighbor level, how do we as a church family react to this? Furthermore, how do we proactively plan for a possible increase in hungry children and families coming to our food pantry? How do we navigate helping our neighbors get through the week or maybe even through the day? What about our members who are affected? Will they tell us of their need? And if they do, how do we respond appropriately? Well, depending on the length of the shutdown, we may see some Social Security checks not come through. We may see some Medicare payments not being made. We're already seeing SNAP and WIC benefits being cut. Are we as a society, and more particularly, are we as a church, preparing for something that may directly affect us in some basic need way? You know, it's a question we need to ask and begin to formulate a response. Standard Time begins Sunday morning, November the 2nd. There's always this big discussion about this time of the year regarding whether or not to continue this standard to daylight and daylight to standard time adjustment. Some love the extra hour of daylight in the evenings, but you know, that has to be tempered with the fact that an hour was taken from the morning, making sunrise well after many people are at work and kids are going to school. No extra hour, I repeat, no extra hour of daylight magically appears in the day. We rob Peter to pay Paul. Now, I don't know if I like this or not. Yes, I like the hour in the evening in the summer, but I don't like getting up to darkness or barely daylight in the morning as the days shorten. Whatever's done or is not done, not everyone will be happy. There will always be factions on both sides of the discussion, and many people are going to be occupying the middle. And that's the way it usually is with most things. We should know by now that we can say our piece, our opinion, and then just let the chips fall where they may. If they're in our favor, that's good. If not, well, we live to fight another battle another day. Well, thanks for listening this week. Regardless of which side you're on regarding daylight saving time, remember the God who created time and daylight, and remember that He created you. Blessings.